Hello, welcome back. I'm Connie Carroll, and I'm here with Sandy Sizemore.
Hello.
Good to see you, Sandy.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Well, it's good to have you here.
Thank you very much.
And you are another wonderful patient from BreastLink, and you have quite a journey that you can tell us about today.
Absolutely. Thank God for BreastLink. That's all I can say. So I was diagnosed just almost exactly a year ago. So in 1 year, I met some of the greatest people I could have ever imagined encountering, and it came through a really hard time, but it turned out to be a huge blessing in my life.
Tell me a little bit about your diagnosis. Now, that was almost a year ago. How did your experience with BreastLink and cancer start?
Yeah, well, so my mom had breast cancer 40-something years ago, so I've always been pretty diligent about having my regular checkups because I have a family history.
Yes.
And about January of 2016, I just went in for a routine mammogram.
Oh.
So it was through another imaging center here in Orange County.
So not BreastLink, but another center.
Yes.
Just the regular mammogram.
Right. It's where I had gone for a number of years, and I just went in for my regular mammogram. And lo and behold, this time when they gave me the results, they said they saw something questionable.
Yes.
And would I please come back for an ultrasound? So I went back a month or so later and had an ultrasound. But this time they said, you know, we think we see something, but it's really sort of vague, very nebulous. So we just want to watch it, so come back in 6 months.
And so you were with your general practitioner, basically. It was just kind of a routine checkup.
Very routine. I did not have any sense of anything wrong. I had no pain, I had no lump, nothing seemed different. It was just a regular routine visit that hopefully all women do once a year.
So come back in 6 months, but
Yes.
you didn't wait 6 months.
I didn't, but because I had a family history,
Yes.
it was offered that I could have an MRI just to further follow up, just to be certain that everything was fine. And honestly, I wasn't going to do it because I just thought, it's nothing, I feel fine. I've never felt better.
Yes.
But I have my 25-year-old daughter, Sarah.
Yes.
When I told her what was going on, because we've got a pact that we don't hide anything from each other, and she was very adamant about me getting the MRI.
Yes.
Because I was just going to wait 6 months. So I did have the MRI, and again, that came back like, we think we should biopsy. But you know, it's a woman at my age sometimes has change in their breast tissue.
Sure, yes, that's
So
natural.
it is. So I really just thought that was it. I
Right.
didn't have any idea. But unfortunately, the biopsy did come back that it was, in fact, breast cancer.
Oh my, and at this point, were you with BreastLink?
I was not.
Well, what led you from your previous
Yeah,
provider to BreastLink?
That's a great question. So unfortunately, the way that my news was delivered to me was less than desirable.
Oh.
Because the radiologist from this other center
Yes.
was supposed to call me or have me in or something,
Right.
but they never called me.
That's pretty important news.
It is. And
So how did you find out?
so unfortunately, the report went to my general practitioner, and she said, oh, I better call and make sure Sandy's okay. So she called me thinking I had already received the news, and I hadn't.
You knew nothing.
I knew nothing.
And that practitioner said,
She said, I'm so sorry, this is not the way this should be handled. But
My.
I guess I have to be the one to tell you you have breast cancer.
oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
it was very hard. I was driving in my car, and I was just blindsided. I was in shock. I was in shock.
That is, it's just such a tumult of things
is.
to happen.
It
And you're
was.
driving in your car. So then you knew about BreastLink from a friend.
Right. So actually, I didn't know about BreastLink as an umbrella organization, but I'd had two dear friends that over the years had gone to Dr. Lisa Curcio and had said to me in the past, hey, if you ever need a breast doctor, you need to see Dr. Lisa Curcio. But I really never thought I needed to see someone that was a specialist.
Sure.
So immediately when I found out that yes, I have breast cancer, the next morning I got on the phone and I called her. I had her phone number. A girlfriend had texted me her number, and I knew that's where I needed to go.
Oh my goodness.
So I called that morning, the number that she had given me, and this wonderful lady named Stephanie, who was their front office person,
Yes.
she picked up the phone, and I melted into a puddle of tears. And I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just really upset, and I don't know what to do. I was so scared. I was so lost. And she was so kind. She was like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And she proceeded to set up all the appointments I needed to have at BreastLink within the week.
Set up your appointments? Well, that must have given you an awful lot of confidence
It did.
and Did you feel like I get to rest? I get to sit back a bit?
Once I went into Breastlink, the offices, and I met with Stephanie, and she walked me through, and I began meeting with the doctors, and they were such consummate professionals. They really, they know what they're doing. Nothing is like, oh, whoops, we should have called you. I mean, nothing like that. Yes, I did feel like, okay, this was probably, I think it was probably the worst news I've ever had.
Yes.
But I also felt so comforted and taken care of. And you know, Breastlink is a one-stop shop, if you will. I mean, I think it's probably makes it sound a little bit, you know, routine, but it's very comforting when you know you need to see several doctors.
Yes.
It's comforting to know that they're all under one roof.
And they can all communicate together.
That's right.
And so that it allowed you to just be the patient.
Correct.
You didn't have to be the captain of this ship, steering every aspect of it because of lack of information or late information or, oh my goodness, wrong information, heaven
That's
forbid.
right.
But you, at Breastlink, you felt that you got everything you needed.
Absolutely.
But beyond that, Breastlink gave you a sense of that they had compassion for you?
Oh, absolutely.
Tell me about that.
Yes. Well, first of all, Dr. Curcio herself is a survivor of breast cancer.
Oh, my goodness.
So, I mean, I think she has a special vantage point and a special passion to help other women. And I think it was really amazing because like I had the first appointments and then my phone just started ringing. Who do you ask is calling me? It's all the different testing organizations that I needed to get a lot of tests done. There were CT scans, there were blood tests, there were PET scans. And out of nowhere, they were calling me to schedule everything. So I didn't have to do anything. I just had to sit with my calendar, answer the phone, and schedule it all out. And I'd have to say probably the fastest period of time and probably the most stressful was those first 2 weeks because they have to ascertain exactly what they're dealing with, what stage, what type of cancer it is, and they have to come up with their protocol. And as you said earlier, once you've met with the doctors and you've had all the tests, they sit together at one table and they come up with, this is the plan.
This is your plan.
This is my plan.
And so you had this wonderful compassionate care at Breastlink.
Very much.
So you felt that you were in good hands.
Absolutely.
But then this has been quite a year for you.
Yes.
The relationships that you've developed with Breastlink, tell me about
They're
those.
dear friends. I will never forget them.
They are dear friends?
They're dear friends. As a matter of fact, in the book of Joshua, it talks about how when the Israelites crossed the Jordan River, that God called them to lay down stones so that they would never forget what he'd done.
Yes.
And there's a big part of me that really wants to move on with my life, but I never want to forget. Ever.
That's wonderful. And to the point where your dear friends at Breastlink wanted to celebrate your life by giving you a birthday party.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
I don't know how they managed to do this, but I just came in for one of my infusions and they knew it was my birthday, and I walked in and all the front office girls had balloons and a cake and gifts, and I thought, wow. They are wonderful, wonderful people at Breastlink. I'm so grateful for them.
And that is going above and beyond.
Oh
really.
my gosh, yes.
And you had these infusions, and right here on the table, I see some beautiful pieces of jewelry. Hold those up. Let me see those. Tell me about them.
Well, these bracelets came from a dear girlfriend who was one of many that supported me like crazy during my chemo. And every time I came home from a chemo infusion, she gave me one of these on my front doorstep.
Oh my goodness.
I always wear them to remind me of the journey.
Oh, they're beautiful.
They are. They're beautiful. And the support that I receive from my family, my husband, my children, my friends, I mean, it was, in a way, the most beautiful journey I've ever been on.
And such a journey. And not even a year into it.
Nope, not a year
journey.
yet. It's going to be a year coming up, like I said. But I'm about 7/8 of the way through. I've had 5 months of chemo.
Yes.
I had a bilateral mastectomy.
Oh,
I had 3 or 4 months of reconstruction.
Yes.
So, but I'm good. I mean, the cancer did not spread into the lymph nodes. Thank God for the protocol, because it was exactly what I needed. And
communicated clearly and
very
quickly
much.
and effectively, like you know in the book of Nehemiah. What he did, when he rebuilt the walls of Jerusalem, it was built on clear and immediate communication, and that's what you found at Breastlink as well, clear and immediate communication. Which
I think I mentioned
peace.
to you earlier that, excuse me, I didn't mean to step on you.
Oh, no, not at all.
When there was a day that 3 months into my chemotherapy, about halfway through, no, it wouldn't have been 3 months, maybe a little less, halfway through my chemotherapy, they'd do another MRI to see where you are.
Yes.
And I got this report, but it was all Greek to me. I couldn't understand what the words meant.
They are difficult to understand.
They are.
What happened?
So Dr. Engel, who's my wonderful oncologist, she could tell that I just wasn't grasping what they were telling me.
Yes.
So she set up a special appointment with their in-house radiologist, who came in and let us sit with the MRI at the beginning of treatment, at the MRI halfway through, so I could actually see that there was cancer before and the cancer was gone.
Oh.
And I needed that interpretation. I needed to grab onto that. I couldn't understand the words, but they understood that, I have limited medical knowledge, but they always just met me where I needed to be to understand what they were saying to me.
So important to be met where you are.
Absolutely.
I love hearing that, Sandy.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad that you came here today to share your story.
I know. I just can't say enough about the doctors and the staff at BreastLink.
Well,
I mean, I don't know what people do without them. I mean, it's just too overwhelming when you have to captain your own ship, as you said.
Yes, yes.
And my job was just to do the protocol and concentrate on getting better, and I didn't have to worry about anything else. Now, I have a husband who was with me every single day, who met me. Whatever I needed, he gave me.
So everyone in the family came alongside of this effort, which is so wonderful.
Yes.
And it's been almost a year, but vast improvement has been made, and you feel so much more hopeful.
I do.
And confident.
I'm better than ever.
For.
Absolutely. In many ways, I'm better than I was before I had cancer.
Oh my goodness. Well, that is a wonderful way to end the year.
Yes, thank you.
This year of treatment.
And thanks to the doctors and the staff at BreastLink. I am forever grateful. They really, truly saved my life. It's true.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me tell you about them.
Sure.